Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Welcome back, everybody. Another week of our episode of Uncomfortable. We'll get started in a few. I pray you all had a good day. I know I had a good day today. We just coming back from vacation. Whoop, 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 whoop. So I feel rejuvenated. I feel refreshed. I feel just relaxed. Very, 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 very relaxed. So we just gonna give it a few more moments and then we're gonna go ahead and dive in for all of my listeners. For anyone who's tuning in with Facebook Live. I'm just sitting here just jamming my little music. So I feel good today. I feel so amazing today. So amazing. Just so amazing. Yeah. Oh, let me just put a disclaimer because I know I have the music playing. Facebook, look here, people. I don't own the rights to this music that's playing in the background, but it's just until I go ahead and get started. My husband laughing at me. Oh, yes. Today was a good day. Today was a great day. It was a little rainy, but hey, cloudy days can be good days. You get to stay in. I just had my lawn man who left not too long ago, my good old serviceman who come get my yard together. Anyone who know him by the name of Bear Diesel, Brandon Thomas. So if any of y'all looking to get y'all lawn service done, hey, y'all go ahead and hit my brother up. Please make sure. Today was a good day. Today was a great day. I just feel good. I feel great. I feel amazing. Yes. So we just will go ahead and just dive in. Oh, hey, Mama. Trish say it was long, but it was good. Huh, Trish? It was a good day. It was a good day for Trish today. Hey, Pastor. Hey, for anyone it is who's tuning in for the first time. Like I always say is my Facebook family. I see y'all. I get y'all. I mean, I always have my focus on y'all, but I know y'all there. So we gonna go ahead and we just gonna go and get started. For anyone it is who's tuning in for the very first time, this is the podcast of Uncomfortable. Just to kind of interject what uncomfortable and going with that title, exactly what it means. Is plenty of times, if you haven't watched the first, the soft launch it is that I did, is that just us coming and talking and discussing some of the uncomfortable stuff. Many of us face things in our life. We go through many trials, go through many eras. We just go through some stuff. And it's from when I said at the soft launch was with my great grandmother. She used to, make you sweep up the floor, and then sometimes whenever you would sweep, you wouldn't get like all the debris, all the dust of everything. So what you used to do, you used to kind of like just sweep that stuff underneath the rug, or you would sweep it underneath the table because you didn't want nobody to see it. You didn't want nobody to know that it was there. But what we get so contemplated with, or what we become so content with, is that just because we sweep it for people not to see it, or just because we go with through stuff and we try to cover it up, or we just don't want no one to know, we sweep that stuff underneath the rug, we sweep it underneath the table. And the crazy part about it is it still remains, it still stays there. So with this podcast, it's just us talking about all of the uncomfortable stuff, the stuff it is that no one wants to talk about, the stuff that no one really wants to poke, the stuff it is that people just don't want to shed light on. And why? Is because it's needed. is needed. People look at individuals and they think that they got where they are just instantly, like it just happened, just something overnight. But what people don't understand is all the stuff that happened behind the scene, all the stuff it is that happened, behind closed doors, all the stuff it is that happened within the closet. People don't know that. So this is a place where we can come, we can talk, we can discuss all the uncomfortable stuff, all the ugly stuff, all the stuff it is that makes it seem like, we ashamed of it, or we try to shy away from it because we don't want people to know. We don't want people to know about it. Why? Because of what they say, the judgments that come with it, the idea it is that people, try to link to our names. And it's good that I'm saying that now, because the topic it is that I want to cover for tonight is the ones who try to disqualify us. I felt that one. It's the ones who try to disqualify us. It's the people it is in our life, either people we have either had some type of relationship with, the individuals who we have encountered something with, the people it is who they know a little something about us. Either they went through some of the trials and errors with us, they went through some of the tests it is that we faced. They was the ones back in the day whenever we had you was probably one of those in the club, or you was one of those who, just was doing some shady stuff, some shenanigans, just some stuff you just knew you wasn't supposed to be doing. Is the ones who know all of the things it is that we've been through, all the stuff is that we face, and now that they see us in a different light, they see us in a different lane, they see us where we are in a different position. They come and they try. You heard me say that. They come and they try to disqualify us based on what it is that we previously done. They don't look at where we currently are now and the benefit of it, and what it is that we have sacrificed, what it is that we have surrendered to, what it is that we have overcome, or even just the simple fact of we just said yes. Just said yes, and not yes to the things that are behind us, not to man, not even to our husband, to our wives, to our kids. We just simply said yes to God. And it's through the transformation it is that God took us through. It's through God's will. It's through us not leaning on our own understanding with things, but really trusting Him and Him tilting the dirt in our life. And even though things may tarry, but it's God and what it is that He has done in our life, to where people come and they try to disqualify us in so many different ways. Whenever I thought about this topic, and one thing it is that I would like all of my listeners to know, and anyone on Facebook Live, is every topic it is that I may talk about or discuss, or even may bring someone in, it's not nothing that's just on the fly. It's not nothing it is that we just randomly came up with. This is actually stuff that has been experienced. It has either been experienced in the past, it has either been experienced currently, or it has been, just somewhere in the journey, in the process of things, that it has been an encounter of something. But in my time of praying and meditation, which everyone I recommend should be praying daily, doing some type of devotional, doing something, is that the person who came to mind out of the Bible was Samuel. And I'm just like, okay, God, why is it that you making Samuel really clear to me? And, why Samuel? And we all know, for any of my Bible readers, who Samuel was. We all knew that his mother, Hannah, she had wanted a child for so long. It seemed like she couldn't have a child until, it was revealed to her through an angel that she would be pregnant. Her husband didn't believe it. Whole 9 yards. If you don't get it, go back and read it. But we know with Samuel had found himself in a position to where he had encountered this relationship or this connection or whatever you want to call it with an individual by the name of Delilah. And in the relationship that was built, Delilah had learned something of Samuel that was very, I don't want to say, not detrimental, which it really was to him, but it was something in Samuel that Delilah find out that she can then use against him. We all know the story of Samuel and where he got his strength. His strength came from the growth of his hair. And his strength, his power, everything it is that he had, his gift, you can also say, it came through the strengthening and everything of his hair. So once Delilah find out what it was that kept Samuel where he was, she had to make her way to where she had to cut his hair. And with the cutting of his hair, it caused him to lose some things. It caused him to become weakened. It caused him to not have like the strength and everything it is that he once had before. So I'm like, okay, God, what type of revelation is it, or what is it that I need to get out of that? And what I feel the Holy Ghost spoke to me in that manner was that many of us have some Delilahs in our life that we share secrets, we share stories, we share things with them that we shouldn't even be talking to them about. And it's not that we don't want to, because we really want to, because if you're one to where you're Samson, I'm sorry. If you're one to where like you're me, I say Samuel, I do mean Samson, I do apologize for that. Come on, Pastor, thank you. To where it's like, okay, if I'm sharing something with you, it's not that I'm building a certain relationship with an individual because, oh, I'm just randomly talking, we just randomly discussing some things or whatever the case may be. It's more so because I have some type of relationship that has been built with you. I mean, you have some type of connection. I'm trusting you to an extent to where I can share certain things with you that I'm not able to share with anyone else. So with that being said and done is that in my walk, in my journey, and I'm pretty sure many of you can maybe relate to the exact same thing, is that when we find ourselves in positions to where we're sharing things with individuals, and then things may not go the way how, they may project it or think that it should go, but it always comes back into a form. And again, I say that's based on my experience with things, is that you use what I shared with you in secret. You use something to where I was vulnerable with you. You use something to where I thought I could trust you. And you use that as ammunition to come and discredit me. You use that to come and disqualify me. You use that in a sense to where it comes and it attacks my character. So with all that being said and done is, yes, Samson, he did slip up. He did, make a mistake with sharing something that was so sacred that he shouldn't have. He shouldn't have shared it. And that's what happened with many of us, is because we find ourselves in vulnerable situations, because we find ourselves wanting to help, because we find ourselves wanting to just see someone get through. We want to see them, we want to see you win. Like, one thing it is, which I think everyone should have a heart of that, you should want to see an individual win. I don't want to see you continue to live the lifestyle it is that you live in. I don't want to see you still living in poverty. I don't want to see you not really inheriting everything it is that God has for you. And then two, if it's the experience of it, of saying that, okay, I see what it is that you're doing. I see what it is that you're going through. This is not the same thing that relates to Samson. My correction again, thank you, Pastor, for that correction. I had the S-A-M, to correct. But the same thing with Samson was, he didn't think this woman would use what it is that he shared with her to come back and use it against him. So I say all this to say is, we do have individuals in our lives who do try to discredit us. They do try to disqualify us, more so if you are in a position to where you have matured, where you have had growth, where you have seen the fruits of your labor, where you have seen yourself just not in the same position on where you were before. Me and my husband, we have many and plenty of conversations to where we just sit back and we just look back at stuff. And we just be like, oh my gosh, like, babe, like, wow. Like, it is not nothing it is that we can give glory to man, because it's only God who can get the glory out of our lives. But when we sit back and we think about where we were a year ago, when we think about where we were 2 years ago, had it not been for God and what it is that he has done for us, we would not be where we are right now. So yes, you may have been one like how we were, to where you were in the clubs. Yes, we used to, go out. We used to turn up. We just used to do all kind of stuff. You may have had kids out of wedlock. You may have been one of those to where, you drinking and you going out like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I know, because that used to be me. But the fact that I have done all those things, it came to a revelation of that is when I was in my dark days. That's when it is that we didn't know no better. You may have not known no better. You didn't know what it is that you were doing. You didn't have no type of, revelation and stuff. You never had any type of clarity of stuff. And those people of the time when you was going through that, they have the mindset of where they think that you are still there. And it's like, no, I have grown. I have matured. I have, made some type of progression in my life. No, I tell people all the time is that me and my husband, we are the most perfect, imperfect people. We are not perfect. We have made mistakes. We have done things through trials and errors, but God is where we are right now, that we can only give the glory to him. And it is not no credit it is that we can take for ourselves. It's not no credit it is that we can give to anyone else, but it's simply the credit of us just saying yes to God. And many of the tests it is that we have gone through in our lives with the individuals, who come, who they try to discredit, they try to attack your character, they try to still live in the past, they try to still live like in your history, they try to still live in the things it is that you once did. Like, that was the old me. It says in the word that, when you say yes to God and when you are a new creature, you are a new man. Put away those, those childish ways of things. Like, you are now a new creature. You are now new. If I'm not mistaken, that's in Corinthians. You are a new creature, and that's who we are now. But because individuals are so caught up on what we once was, or what we once did, it seems like they just can't get the mindset. They can't get the clarity of, hey, it's just a different time of things now. It's just like a new journey of things. And when we're not careful, just like how Samson was not careful, we have the tendency to give those individuals the ammunition. And guess what? They have every right to do it. Why? Because it's something it is that we shared with them. It could have been a vulnerable time. It could have been a lonely time. It just could have been a confusing time. And I know for me, back then, I was very confused with certain things. I was doing things it is that I knew I shouldn't be doing, but I was still doing it. And why? Because I never really had no sense of guidance. I never really had any sense of understanding or any sense of direction. But it wasn't until like I really started to understand who I was in Christ that I was able to like really put away all those childish things and put away all those worldly things. Now, no, I don't get it right all the time, and I'm pretty sure you ain't gonna get it right all the time. But just like how many people would say is, yes, you may have been delayed, but you are definitely not denied. God has appointed each and every one of us with a purpose and with a plan for our lives. And despite of whatever it is that we have done in the past, or if you're currently doing it and you're seeking to get out of it, it is okay whenever you start to have revelation and clarity and you're able to identify with what it is that you're currently doing, and to know that, hey, I need to start making a change. I need to start making a difference. I need to just start doing something completely, different in my life. Because it seems like it seems like when I get 2-3 steps ahead, it seems like I'm always getting back, knocked back maybe 5 or 6. It seems like I can never make, no type of progress in my life. But until you understand that your journey is a process, It's not anything it is that's going to happen instantly. It's not anything that's just going to be dictated on people around you or people who you have in your corner or people it is who you have in your life. And that's why it is so important. It is so important to really be mindful of who you have speaking into your life, who it is who you're vulnerable with, who it is who you share certain information with. Why? Because those same individuals can either use your heartbreaks, they can use your loneliness, they can use your vulnerability to either help maneuver you, help uplift you, help encourage you, help motivate you, or not. They can use that as a hindrance. They can use that as a stepping stone. And I know when we were younger, we used to always hear people say where sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. In all actuality, words can really be detrimental to your character. And more so too, if it's words that's not coming from the right person. Yes, people are going to talk. People are going to say things. And one thing it is that I learned is, and I'm pretty sure we all can have some type of clarity with it. If you ever watch Madea, which I'm a big Madea fan, hey Tyler Perry, to where she said in one of her scenes where it's not so much of what you, wait, how did she say? I don't want to correct me, anybody, if y'all see. She said it's not so much of what people call you, but it's what it is that you answer to. It's what it is that you answer to. So when you have people in your life who are saying things about you, why being mindful of that thing is because if you look at it to where, how can I say it? Say my husband. I'm going to use my husband as my little guinea pig, okay? If you utilize my husband and my husband decide that he just want to go out and he wants to, like, you know, start downing me, he want to start talking bad about me, he want to say, oh, she don't cook, she don't do the laundry, she don't clean the house, and she don't do this, and she don't do that, because my husband is so close to me, because my husband has a strong connection with me, because people know that we are here, our relationship, our foundation, our covenant is all in that. Of course, they're going to have a lending ear to hear what it is that he has to say. And whatever it is that he having to say, depending on the ears it is that it falls on, if it's falling on good ears, then you can have individuals like, well, no, Terrence, like, no. Like, if you have a problem with it, then, you know, you need to talk to your wife. You need to go ahead and you need to address that. Like it tells us in the Bible that whenever we have issues or problems, we don't go to the next person. We don't go to, you know, leaders. We don't do none of that stuff. We don't gossip about it. We go to our brother and we talk to our brothers about it in whatever the issue, whatever the manner it is may have. So if it's a good person, a person who is in our corner, a person who has some good wisdom, some good guidance, and who really have our best interests at heart, they're going to guide him. They're going to guide Terrence in a direction of, no, that is your wife. This is your wife. And how dare it is that you speak of these things to us, but you don't speak of it to her. So go home. Talk to your wife, get it resolved, do whatever it is that you need to do. But if he goes and talks to individuals who don't have our, you know, best interests at heart, who don't understand the vision it is that we have for our life and for our family, who don't understand our story and where it is that we come from, they can easily say negative things. Like, oh, well, yeah, I knew she looked like the type who don't cook. And anyone who tried my cooking for y'all know I can cook. But they'll say those kind of things to where they want to discredit me, despite of whatever good it is that I have done for them, or, you know, for them, by them, or whatever you want to call it. They'll be quick to discredit me and to buy into what it is that Terrence is talking about, regardless of how much they say that they know me, or despite of how much good it is I have done, regardless of what position I may be in, because they're just going to hear the negativity in that. They're not going to give him any type of godly counsel or any type of godly wisdom or anything in that manner. What they're simply going to say and going to do is to discredit me, and then that plants seeds inside my husband to where it can develop any type of offense. It can develop any type of strife. It can even go to the extent of to where it can develop any type of manipulation, to where it may be something of exchange with him. Well, I ain't gonna do this because I ain't gonna do this or do that because you ain't doing this and you ain't doing that. We have to be mindful of the individuals it is who we sharing. Who we sharing our information with, who we're sharing our testimony with. And what people don't understand is that our testimony is not something that just falls randomly out of the sky. Our testimony, it comes through all the trials and through all the tests and through our transgressions. We not like something is not just go randomly happen just instantly. Oh, we have a testimony. We all know that a testimony comes through you going through a test, and not everyone passed the test, not the first time around. And that's why sometimes what God does, not sometimes, but all the time, what he'll do is he'll make it like a revolving situation, and people wonder and they ask, okay, why I keep going through this thing? Like, why this keep happening? Why whenever I get out of this relationship, it seems like I get into the next relationship and it's the same thing? Why the group of friends it is that I come across, why all of them seem to act the same? Is because God is revolving certain things in our life. Why? Because he wants us to pass the test. Why does he want us to pass the test? Because he wants us to give the testimony, and in the testimony is where he's going to reap the glory out of everything. So a testimony doesn't just come from an instant thing. It comes through the trials, it comes through the tests, it comes through the errors of things. It comes through you going through some stuff. It's not anything that's just randomly just going to happen, but it's through our stuff that we really learn. We learn, my pastor said it the other day, and I remember whenever I met my pastor, Pastor Daniel Kelly, hey, correction, thank you so much, love you for that. But it's in, one thing I told my pastor is that at the beginning, I said, the only thing it is that I can say to you at this time, because I really didn't have a foundation of a church home. I really wasn't living my life the way how I needed to live it. I was still clubbing and doing this and doing that. I wasn't quite there. I wasn't quite there. But one thing that I knew in my heart was that I was teachable. I was teachable. Like, if you just teach it to me, I'm going to have a heart to receive it. Like, I'm just going to be teachable. Whatever experience it is that I've gone through, and I'm pretty sure you all can say the same thing, is that as long as you remain teachable, you can learn some stuff. And not learn it to where it has to be detrimental to you and to your situation, but learning to where you can start to get yourself out of those situations. Me and my husband had talked about it and had discussed it last week, to where, yeah, we may be in a pit. You may be in a ditch somewhere. You may be going through some stuff. But what are you going to do? Are you just going to remain there? Or if not, do you have people who around you who can really help you get out of that stuff? And with that, it only comes with you just being teachable. So that's one thing it is that blessed me. And I heard my pastor, he talked about it on, he mentioned it last night at Bible study, of just remaining teachable. Just being teachable. And with you being teachable, you start to learn some stuff. And once you start to learn some stuff, like I tell my kids all the time, is every experience is either going to come with you teaching, or if not, you learning. But it's going to be either or. Like, you can't just be like in the middle, like just in the gray area. It either has to be black or white through all the experiences that we go through. And one thing it is that my husband and I is learning is that through this season, it is that we're going through at this time. And one thing it is, let me just go ahead and throw that out, is that whenever God starts to elevate you, whenever God starts to position you, whenever God really starts to have you in a position to where you're being blessed, you're having the inheritance of things, whenever you are really seeing his glory, and you would just like, it ain't nobody but God who is doing these things, you will have individuals, because they do not know. Let me just go ahead and disclaim that a little bit. Because they do not know, they will try to justify your actions or why you where you are or whatever
when it comes time for elevation and promotion and all this other stuff, yes, man may be the one to write the certificate, man may be the one to write the check for it, but that is only through God that you're in the position of where you are to have the favor it is that is pouring over into your life, that is pouring into your life, the connections it is that you are making with people, the foundations it is that you are starting to build with people, the relationships, the networking, the correction, the promotion may be something that is done in the physical by man, but that is spiritual things and spiritual favor that God is moving on your behalf. God is moving on your behalf. But what people try to do, people who do not know, people who do not understand their relationship, people who do not know what it is that you have been through, they do not know your story, they do not know your testimony, or not, they try to use that to manipulate certain things, they try to use that to discredit you, to try to disqualify you. It's like, no. It's nothing it is that I have going on is done by me. This is all man. This is all man. I mean, this is all God in this making. Like, every move I make is because I said yes. Every penny it is that comes into my household is because it's something done by God. And one thing it is I tell people, because we just recently went on vacation. And I had a conversation. With someone, and the comment that they made, it was like, "Well, everybody ain't able," and I'm just like, "Wait, oh, hold up." For me, I really think that's like on the contrary of certain things, is because everyone really can position themselves to where you can take a vacation, to where you can do some things in your life, to where you can enjoy life. But it's more so to if you're positioning yourself to even be able to do those kind of things. And one thing it is that I tell everyone, and it's not for us to brag, it's not for us to boast by any means necessary, but one thing that me and my husband do is we not only serve in the church, but we are tithers. We pay our tithes, we pay our tithes, we pay our tithes. Now don't get me wrong, we ain't not pay our bills all the time, on time, like we are supposed to. But one thing it is that we are faithful in what we do is we pay our tithes. And one of the house rules that we have and what we share with others is that we are firm believers that if we sow our 10%, if we give our 10%, then our 90% will be covered. And in the midst of everything that people see in our life, regardless if it's us serving in a church, or if it's something it is that our kids are doing, or, you know, trips it is that we taking, or if we're able to bless someone or whatever, that ain't got nothing with us doing as in the flesh or as man. Is because of our commitment, is because of our faith, is because of our serving, it is because of our obedience. And how we handle our finances, and how we do so, and how we do give our 10%. And we don't do it with any grudge. We don't do it with, okay, God, if we give this or we do that, then we expecting this, and whatever the case may be. We do it like ungrudgingly. We do it like with nothing in return. We do it because guess what? If we know we give God our 10, then guess what? He gonna protect our 90. So for the individual who is like, well, everybody ain't able. Like, my question to them was, like, are you a tither? Like what are you doing with your finances? Like, what are you, like, what you doing? Like, you gotta be doing something. Like, you can't tell me that you get up, you go to work every single day, you get a paycheck, and I understand, I know what it's like with living paycheck to paycheck. I get that, I got that. But where is your faith in the midst of everything it is that you're doing? Where is your faith? Where does your faith lie? Where does it lie at? To why you're not doing what it is that you desire to do? Because if you have a desire to do a certain thing, that's not nothing that just happened. That is a desire it is that God gave you. So if you have a desire to it, then you have to have faith. You have to trust. You have to be able to move in different ways to make those desires become reality. To really be honest with you, but just not so much to get off the topic, to get off the subject, but in the going back to Samson and talking about with Delilah, and you know, and everything with him, and you know how he became vulnerable and how he positioned himself to where someone took advantage of his vulnerability. They took advantage of something it is that he shared with them, and they use it as ammunition. They use it as a way to discredit, to disqualify, and that's what basically happens with us. We think we're being kind, we think we're being friendly, we think that, you know, we doing what it is that we should be doing, and it's not that. It's the individual, because we know how Ephesians 6 talks about, like, we fight not against the flesh and blood, but it's against the spiritual and the principalities and all those things. We know it's a spiritual warfare, but it's because that individual who we're sharing these things with, or we're being, you know, we're being vulnerable with, because they do not understand, because they do not get it, because they're double-minded in some of their ways, because they, you know, have a carnal mind, or their relationship with God is not where it needs to be, or they're going through stuff and they don't know how to handle, or whatever the case may be. It's not that they're doing it, like, really, how I believe is that they're not really doing it because it's something that they really want to do, but in the essence of it all, it may be a certain feeling it is that it gives them. It may be a certain thought, you know, it is that they may have, or better yet, it could just be that they just got so much stuff going on in their life that they need to take the spotlight off of them, because they don't want people to know what it is that they're doing, or what it is that they're trying to hide from, or what it is that they're ashamed of, or what it is that they don't want to bring to the light, or what it is that they got just going on in their life. They try to bring that light. They try to bring that justification. They try to bring how this person needs to be disqualified or needs to be discredited, because they don't want the spotlight on them. So with all that being said and done, is we do have those who try to disqualify us. They try to they just try to do the most. They just try to do it. And one thing it is that I've learned, and if anything it is that can help anyone who's listening, anyone it is who is Facebook Live, is we just have to be very mindful. We have to be put in a whole lot of thought of the people and how we position them in our lives. What type of access it is that we give to them. What information it is that we share with them. How open it is that we become with them. And why is that? Because many of times whenever we develop relationships, or I don't want to use the term friendships, because you can have relationships, friendship, you know, enemyship, that's even, you know, a word, is that we try to position people in our lives for the convenience of certain things, or because you just have a good heart, you're just a good person, you want to see people win, you just want the best for them. And what winds up happening is we share too much information with them. We give them too much, when in all actuality, it's not you. It's just that the individual is not at all the time open to receive everything it is that you have to give. They're just not open to understand what it is that what you're saying. They don't have the wisdom to be able to, like, really discern certain things. Like, they just don't get it. So it's not that, which I don't want anyone to be discouraged about any relationships it is that you have, or anyone it is who may be trying to discredit you, attack your character, belittle you, down you, or just do whatever. Don't be discouraged by that thing, but in the essence of everything, making sure to send prayers in that direction, lifting them up, because it's not anything it is that's going on with you, but it just may be the individual and things it is that they may be facing in their life, things it is that they may be going through. And that despite of whatever, just to love them through it all. And yeah, it may not feel good. It may, it may even hurt. You may just feel like, oh, all of the disloyalty stuff, or, all of the mistrust, and I can't have no, faith in this person that they'll, never hurt me, or they'll never disappoint me, or the rejection of whatever, but just to send prayers. And why? Because we know that we fight not against the flesh and blood, but against the spiritual and the principalities of certain things. And I don't know why, I just feel like just to harness, really into that, in the sense of not everyone really has a relationship with God. Not everyone doesn't really understand the manifestation of how God really works and how he really operates, and how he is just so good. He is so good even in all his ways. Like, God has been so good. Just let me just speak on myself. He has been so good. He has covered me. He has protected me. He has been my sustainer in things. He has been my comforter, even in my darkest times. In the times it is that I didn't know left from right. I've always had a sense of wisdom, but I've never always applied the wisdom, which that is a big difference, to know something and just never apply it. But God was able to protect me, and he was able to cover me and get me through those things. So no, not being pride, not having any pride in what it is that you have done, not having any pride in the mistakes or in the errors it is that you have, or even like in the endeavors of whatever, but just knowing that in the midst of all that, my ugly, my good, my bad, my turn up, my drinking, my sleeping around, having kids and out of wedlock, whatever, God still covered me. And he got me through that. He protected me. When he was telling me to go left, Joe didn't want to go left. You may have not wanted to go left. You just went right. But he still covered and he still protected me. So when you have individuals who come and they try to discredit you, they speak against your character, they just speak against your livelihood, is meaningful to say is, one, you have to like really question, and that's why you really can't take everything to heart, is what does their relationship with God look like? What does their faith, look like? Like, what is it? What does it look like? Like, does it even like qualify for you even speaking on behalf of my sake, saying anything about me? Like, does it even really matter? Or how Medea said in her thing is, it's not what people say, but it's more so to what you answer to. What they're saying about you, should you even answer to it? Should you even try to protect or even cover your name? Should you try to defend yourself in that manner? And if their relationship with God is not to where they're where they need to be, or they're still going through the process, or they still battling some things on their own, then no, like, I'm gonna just let God handle it. I'm gonna just let God God do his thing. But when you have people who understand your story, who understand your testimony, and who can relate to it, and just know that, look, it's by the grace of God that you even here. Like, you here by the grace of God, not by man, not what man was able to do, not how man was able to come through, but it's only by God, through God, that you are here right now. It don't matter what people say. It don't matter how they come to attack you. It don't matter how they try to discredit you. It doesn't matter how they try to, disqualify you. Like, it don't even matter. What they have to say is just falling on dead, numb ears. That it's just falling on numb ears. Now, how I said earlier is we was raised that sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt. Yeah, it does hurt. because you would never think that an individual would scoop to a level of that. But because I understand my God, I understand what it is that he has brought me through. I understand where it is that he's taking me. I understand that everything is in a process. I understand that everything is a journey. I understand that everything does not happen instantly. I just understand that that individual or that person or whoever it may be for you, or even who it is for me, is they're just going through their season. They're just going through their process. They're just going through. And because of my strong faith, because of my belief system, I'm like, okay, God, you do a thing. Because God can do far more with a situation, with a person, than you ever can do. And one thing it is that I had to learn, and I am learning, still in the process of it, is that if God is for me, then who can be against me? It don't even matter. You can say whatever, but as long as it is that I have favor with God, it like what man have to say or what man do, it don't even matter, because if it ain't in God, for God, through God, and by God, I don't even want it anyways. You understand what I'm saying? I don't even want it anyways if it ain't God's doing. So it ain't God's doing. It ain't for him. He ain't gonna get the glory out of it. You can have it anyways. So yes, it may hurt. It may make you feel a certain way. It may make you feel that sense of abandonment. You may have that sense of rejection, and whatever the case may be. But when you really, 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 truly understand, and that's not something that just happens. It comes through a healthy foundation relationship with the man above. Yes, we can have our mamas, we can have our daddies, we can have our husband, wives, sisters, brothers, children, whoever, who we can confide in with certain things, but it's only through your relationship with the man above will you understand who you really are, what it is that he says about you, not so much what man say, because man will say whatever. Like he will say whatever it is that they want to say, and when it's because of man and because of man's doing and because man wants to get the glory and because man wants to boast and they want to update trust, they're going to say and do whatever it is to make them look good. They're going to say and they're going to do whatever it is to take the spotlight off of them. They're going to do just to make a scene. We all know, I'm pretty sure, I'm a female, I'm a girl, so we know how sometimes how us females can be, or even too with the men, because I talk to my husband, about certain things. Like, we never talk or discuss things to where we make ourselves look bad. You will never, ever, ever put yourself in a position to where you gonna make yourself look bad, and you can be dead wrong about it. You can be dead wrong about it. You could have did wrong. You could have maybe stole something, hurt somebody's feelings, did something you ain't had no business doing. But you won't speak on that. You will only try to justify it to where you make yourself look good. Before I go ahead and I get closing, because we're going way over time, is when I was younger, for anyone it is who know me when it comes to my biological dad, my dad Carl. So even though me and my dad, we never really had like a really strong, relationship or anything, one thing my dad always did tell me was, he said that it's always three sides to a story. There's your side, is their side, and then there's the truth. It's your side, is their side, and then there's the truth. And many of times, the truth will never manifest. The truth will never come out. Why? Because you got 4 ears and 2 mouths. And 2 of those, each set of those ears heard something completely different. They experienced something completely different. Their heart and emotions was attached to something completely different. So even whenever you try to tell your truth is just that. It's your truth, but it's really not the basic truth. Because everyone will always try to justify. They will try to say. They're going to try to do whatever it is to make themselves look good. And I even know, like, even with me being married, guess what? I still do it sometimes. Like, like how I be with my husband. Like, no, dude. No, you was wrong. I know I was right. And in all actuality, I was wrong. But even in my marriage, it's like, I'm not all the time just going to speak. Now, don't get me wrong. When I'm wrong, I can admit when I'm wrong. Look here. Listeners, Facebook, when you wrong, just admit you wrong. And be like, look, I'm wrong. You know what I mean? Like, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. I hope you can forgive me. And that will take you a long way. A long way. Instead of you trying to hold on to a lie. And then whenever you say a lie, and two, revelation in this. When you tell a lie, and it's something it is that I tell to my kids all the time is, when you tell a lie, you have to now live within that lie until you're ready to tell the truth. And what winds up happening is, even with those individuals who come, who may lie on you, they may steal from you, they may discredit you, they may try to do everything underneath the sun against you. That is something that you have to live in until you're ready to face the truth. And why? Because once you tell one lie, then you have to tell another lie to then cover the first lie you said. Then you have to say another lie to cover that lie. And it's just like a circle of things, of lies that you just have to keep going around with. And then next thing you know, your whole life it is just based on a lie. But to you, it's the truth. It is what it is that you created. So when we living in these lies and the he say or the she say or whatever the case may be, if it's based on a lie, you have to keep up with that lie in order to keep the lie going, which is basically, it's just too much. Like, I don't know. For me, I don't want to do that. No, y'all can have all that. I just rather tell the truth, get it done. Get it done, get it over with, take whatever consequences, repercussions, or whatever it is that may come with it. And why? Because the truth will really set you free. Like, it's really going to set you free from some things, with some things like you really don't have to experience, you really don't have to go through the lies of stuff. We know that we serve a God, for anyone it is who's, a firm believer and keep their faith in God and in the Word, is we serve a God where He shall not lie. So if you serve somebody and you're living a life to be pleasing to someone who is not a liar, then why is it that you want to live a lifestyle based on lies? And not just based on lies that you may say or do to justify who you are, but even when it comes to others, to other individuals. Like, why would you even want to, do that? But needless to say, we're going to go ahead and close this. I know, yes, we did go over. I just felt like this was just a really good topic to say the season it is that I'm in, the season it is that some of you may be in, is that you will have individuals who are going to come and who are going to do their best to disqualify you. They're just going to use every ammunition it may have been that you have given them, or maybe something it is that they heard through the grapevine. Maybe it is something they heard from somebody else. And gossip come with the he say, she say, whatever the case may be. But to know that in everything, if you continue to press, if you continue to do right, if you continue to say yes to God, and that's for anyone it is who has said yes to God, or you may be in a time in your life right now to where you're just lost, to where you're confused, you don't know what's going on in your life, you don't know if you coming or you going, you don't know if you up, you down, you just seem like your back just constantly just stay, your back just kind of stay against the wall, like you just don't know. Like, you just don't know. You may be in that season in your life to where it's just time for you to just be like, you know what? I have tried it my way for so long. It just ain't working no more. And you just got to get to a place to where you are just sick and tired of being sick and tired. Where you just to a place to where it's like, look, I won't do this no more. Like, I tried it my way. It just doesn't work. Like, I don't I don't know what else to do. It seemed like I just wake up, go to work, get the kids, whatever the case may be, come home, cook dinner. Like my life just seemed to be a regimen of the same thing, like over and over and over. You may be in that season in your life to where I was once there, my husband was once there, to where it just may be time for you just to say yes to God, despite of what others say, despite of what others may do, how they may just try to disqualify you, or they may tell you, look, you can't be no minister, you can't be trying to encourage people, you can't be trying to motivate nobody. Why? Because of what you done did. I remember you back in the day, you used to be with such and such, you used to hook up here, you used to be out in the club, you used to drink. It don't even matter. We serve a God that whenever you ask him and you accept him into your heart and you repent and you ask him for forgiveness, baby, he throw that stuff into the sea of forgiveness. He don't remember that stuff no more. That is as far as east is from the west. It don't matter what you did back in the day. It don't even really matter what you did yesterday. But when you have a heart that is yielding and that is yearning for something new, something different, a new experience of life, because you just sick and tired of whatever, and regardless of what people may say is, or what people may do, just to say yes. Just to say yes, God. And just accept whatever it is that he allows. If he allows it to happen, know that it is for a purpose. It's for a reason. And in due time, you're going to reap whatever it is that you sow now. One thing it is, I told my husband, before we go ahead, I know I keep saying, I just keep going on and on and on about it is, I tell my husband is, when it comes to our kids, is what it is that we serve our kids now, what it is that we give our kids to eat right now is going to be that exact same thing it is that they serve us later on in life. It's going to be the same thing it is that they give to us later on. So if you're in a place, if you're in a season to where you just don't know, God still loves you. He is still there for you. He would never leave you, nor would he ever forsake you. But it is only up to you, despite of what man say. Like, just, that's like fuzzy noise to me when it even comes to that. That despite of what man says, despite of what man does, despite whatever, it's only up to you for you to say yes to God. And for you just to be willing and accepting of what it is that he allows to happen in your life. So like I said, this was the topic of the ones who try to disqualify us. In your journey, in your process, you're going to have people who are going to come. They're going to look back on your history. They're going to look back on what y'all used to do. And they're going to use that just like how with Samson. I said Samuel early, but it's Samson. With Samson and how he gave the very information, the gift. He told them what it was that strengthened him. And then they cut it off from him. You're going to have people in your life who is going to use what it is you have done, things it is you have experienced or whatever, as ammunition to try to destroy you, to try to take you down, who's going to try to discredit you, who's going to try to disqualify you, who's going to tell you on why you shouldn't be doing this or why you can't do this, because they're living in your past. You are not defined by your past, but you are simply created to do the works and the wonders that God has ordained for you. Each and every one of us have a purpose. Each and every one of us has been called to do something, but it's only until you are willing to surrender and you are able to say yes that you can really inherit everything it is that that God has for you. He wants us to live a life that is going to be exceeding and abundantly. He wants you to live a life with all the promises it is that he has given to us. If God has not denied you, which he is not going to deny you, he has not disqualified you. It is the ones that are sick, the ones who are lost, which he came for the lost. He came for the sick. He came directly for you. He came for me. If he can do it for me, if he can make a transition in me, if he can make a change in me, and that stuff it is that I done did, because baby, Johanna, Elaine, Babino-Zeno has done some things that I was not proud of, that I was ashamed of, but I know if he can do it for me, I know without a doubt that he can do it for you. But it's only up to you if you're willing to accept it, if you're willing to say yes. So this is going to be the conclusion of our topic of the ones who tried to disqualify us. I just want to tell you, stay encouraged, stay humble, stay teachable, stay in a position to where God can really use you. And when we pray is one thing that I notice is whenever you pray for something and God reveal it to you, he make it clear to you, take it and run with it. Take it and run with it. Don't try to, play around with it. Don't try to how in double dutch. Like, I'm not one who know how to double dutch with the two ropes or whatever, but like how you have to pace yourself before you ready to get. No, go ahead and dive into that thing, because God wants to see us win. He wants us to inherit all of the treasures it is he has here on earth for us. But it's only until you're able to say yes. It's only until you're able to really understand who you are in Christ and what it is that he has ordained and the purpose it is that he has given to you, that you will really fully understand the love it is that God has for each and every one of us. I always say, and how we say at the church, is that I love you. Like, I love each and every one of you, even if I don't know you, because you are a child of God. I love you, and there's absolutely nothing it is that you can do about it. I pray this has blessed just one individual. I pray it just bless one individual, because if it has, then guess what? My purpose and my job for this week, it was done. If it was just one person. So you all have a blessed night. Thank you all for tuning in. And until next week, next Wednesday at 7 o'clock, when I'm comfortable.